record. There we go. Okay, so we're playing with a program called nmap. We are running script for part 3 of chapter 7, and coming down here. Okay, so here they give an example of using nmap, nmap-a-t4, and then some domain name will give you a bunch of information about ports that are open and more on that particular server. We're going to do a simpler search of a network than that. And again, there's lots of use cases for nmap. I use the man page when I'm trying to remember how I did something before. If I'm trying to do something new on nmap, I generally look somewhere else for a tutorial on it because the man page isn't really a tutorial. It's just a quick lookup for the things you can do with it. So the main things about nmap are, let's see, that we need to know the type of scan that you're doing, and then the type of output you want for that scan. And these are all of the shortcuts for those things there. So I'm just gonna keep it relatively simple. Find your IP address. So I am 172.17.8.110. So I'm just going to copy that in case I forget, Control-Shift-C. And then I'm going to do an nmap dash, I think it's S capital T, find out. And then I'm going to put the port that I want to scan. So either, oops, type or copy and paste it in there. And then hit enter, see if I got it right. Yeah, so that's the ST does a quick scan to see what ports are available. And on my system, I have the SSH port open and the HTTP port open. If I were to do something like sometimes there'll be a bunch of ports available. Sometimes there's a way to look for open and closed ports. If I wanted to filter the output, right, I could pipe this over to something like grep, and I could say, grep, just show me the lines that are related to open, and it will show me those lines there. Okay. Nmap comes with a greppable format, which they think is more grep friendly than this format. To use that format, we would do something like this. Get rid of the pipe to grep, and instead we are going to redirect the standard output to /dev/null. Anybody remember what redirecting the dev null does?
Doesn't have to be a space between?
There does not, but there could be. So I could do a space there. I think it's okay either way. Anybody remember what dev null is? It's the void. Yeah, you send stuff to die forever. It just disappears into a black hole. Okay, so what I want is I want the standard output to go into a black hole, but I want to grab the greppable output, which is OG, lowercase o, capital G, and then I want to send that to a file. So I'm going to send this to a file to be my IP scan. Oops, that's in the way there. .txt. And again, you don't have to put a file extension, but I like them just to remind me what kind of file I'm looking at. So now hit enter. And let's cat that file. So cat. Really? Let me just make sure mine worked. I could have got the syntax wrong. Yeah, mine worked. Okay. Yeah, so in this case, where we're not piping out to something, we're redirecting the standard out because we don't want to see that. We just want the results to go to dev null. Okay. I can do it without that. So I could modify this and get rid of the send the standard out. Because then is two things will happen if I do this. It'll give me the regular standard output and it'll send the grepable output over to that file. So again, if I double check the cat, my IP scan, oh, what do they do? Oh, car, no, cat, please. Then I get more information. And so then maybe in this case, I only want to see the lines that have open. I don't want to see the rest of it. So then I could, from the cat, I could do something like pipe that out to grep and only show me the open lines. Now, does anybody remember what I said about this kind of statement before? Is there a better way to do this? You can just grep the file. Yeah, that's a better way to do it. So although I can do that, that calls three different commands to run. It calls cat, it calls pipe, and it calls grep. Instead of doing that, I could just back up, get rid of cat, go straight to grep, and say grep look for open in the file my IP scan. And that'll only show me the lines that have open in it. And there's only one line that has open in it. So the grepable version package stuffs up a little bit different. Okay. All right. So anybody have a yeah.
Can you tell me like what that's what like why am I not producing jump? Okay, so there's
okay, so you've got so before you got something. And then all of a sudden now, is there spelling error? Did you use yeah. Oh, you're getting nothing because there's no lines that say open in there.
Oh, okay.
Oh, and then, yeah, in that file.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so instead, if we like grep for Fedora, like if I put a FED in there.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. So again, our output's going to be different. Does anybody have a similar IP address to me?
Yeah.
Mine is
I have a 10.10.
Yeah, 10.10.
Mine's a 192, but I think it's because I'm in a VM.
Yeah. So here's something we can do a little bit different. So let's go back to the first time we ran nmap. And whatever your IP address is, get rid of the last 8 bits. So that right there, if I put a 0 at the end, is now a 24-bit IP address. And I'm going to put a /24 next to it. So what this is going to tell nmap is that the last 8 bits could be any number from 0 to 255. Okay. And so that means it's going to scan every single in the 172.17.8 range, 0 through 255. It's going to look at every single IP address for something. Now that's going to be a lot of stuff. I'm not sure I want to really see that all, but I'm going to do it anyway, just for fun. And this is going to take a little bit. Mine's taking a little bit. Yeah, and some scans are faster than others. There is a faster version of this. Oh, I have to look up what it is.
As you read that CompTIA book,
Yeah.
what is your opinion on CompTIA?
Which CompTIA book?
The Linux one.
The CompTIA exam.
No, just like so like Jordan and Pete both think that the curriculum in the book that they teach from is like, do you think that this Linux book is bad?
No, I don't.
Oh, I don't think this one is one. I think the other one, the other books.
I think the other book I used was okay too. It was just the other book had way more detail than this book has. So there's stuff in the other book that's not in here. And I just thought it was too much to get through in 2 terms. I was hoping that I could get through most of this book in 2 terms. I think it's all good information. There's not much in here that I would say we shouldn't do. One thing I was reflecting on chapter 6 the other day, and they mention playing with modules, but they don't do anything with it. And I actually think module management is something we should do more. And I don't think it comes up later, but I haven't double checked. So I would like to do more with like inserting modules, probing modules, deleting modules, adding modules. And modules they're ways to make your kernel deal with hardware it wasn't compiled to work with. Why is mine stuck?
No, they're all stuck.
Mine worked.
Yours worked?
Should have ran Fedora,
Yeah.
nerd.
Yeah, all right. So maybe I should have done that a little bit different.
Cancel it out, so it's not.
Nah, let it go for a minute. It's all right. I just want to double check something.
Mine
Let's
says
see.
there's 256 megabytes. 2 hosts scanned in 2.27 seconds.
Wow.
Well,
Nmap, quick port scan.
It's not coming up yet.
yeah, he wants to say fast scan.
What IP address did your guys start with?
7 to 17.
You guys have 172? Is that the static IP address you guys set on your laptops?
No, that was assigned by.
That's the one that you guys are pulling?
That's DHCP, yeah.
Okay.
Which one?
Let me see if I can just pull it.
Which one are you
That's
running?
yours. That one, 07.
If you're reading the, the paper of the one, yeah.
Like, did you use something?
Oh, I got my.
Yours came back.
There's
That's my.
Is it? It's.
Wait, why is my cloud server back at the 192?
Here's mine. Oh, it says my name on mine.
Did mine come back yet? Mine still didn't come back yet. All right. I'm trying to, there's another.
Hey, that's true. Oh, I'm wow, okay, I can run the law stuff. Wait. You guys,
As far as I can tell, I still got my.
Oh, .ss is the other one. Okay. Yeah. So there's all different kinds of scans you can do, and it's the way the nmap interacts with the servers. And one of them is called like a stealthy scan. It's the dash lowercase s capital S, which starts to make the connection and then pulls back right away before completing it. So if you're trying to probe a system that might be looking for individuals probing the system, then the lowercase s capital S version of the scan is kind of a better way to make that scan happen, but it doesn't collect as much information.
Gary,
Yeah.
like, you guys signed out of the SSH into the server to do this, right?
Yeah, you should be on your local host
Okay.
to do this. Yeah, mine is still stuck.
All
All right, I'm gonna pause the recording for Zoom. Okay, so back, nmap finished after 336 seconds. That was a little longer than I expected. But I've done scans before that took hours accidentally. All right, so let's see, we're going to make a script. So let's do nano. And what's that? Yeah, just cancel it. Control C out of it. No, we don't need to do sudo. So we're going to do a nano and let's call it scan ips.sh. And again, some places you'll see that they don't put an extension on shell script. Some people do. I like extensions, just a reminder for what kind of file it is. So I'm going to put the .sh extension on it. And shell scripts have to start with a shebang line, which is the hashtag or a number symbol, exclamation point, space, and then where is your shell executable live? So options are something like bin Bash is a typical place it could be. Shell scripts can also run with the sh on there. So I'm going to put the sh this time. I'll double check it in a minute. Sometimes on computers, it's going to be user bin bash or user bin sh. We'll double check that location in a minute. I like to put an extra line there, but you don't have to. Sometimes it's nice to put information about what you're doing. So in my second line, I'm going to put a hashtag, and then I'm going to put by Gary. I'm going to put the date, 2026, 0310. And I'm going to put why I'm making it. Use nmap to probe open ports on network. Then filter results. All right. Enter a couple of times, and then we're going to do an echo command to prompt the user for some information. We're going to use the -E option for echo. The -E option lets us do things like, say, return a new line also, or don't add a new line. Otherwise, things can get bunched together. So we're going to use the -E to separate and condense things. So -E space quote, something like, please enter the first 8 bits of an IP or network IP to scan. Remove this of a network IP to scan. Colon space slash lowercase c close quote. So we're going to ask the user for some input. Remember we did this the other day with like, what's your name? So the -C says, don't break for a new line, because usually what'll happen is it'll say that and then break for a new line, and then the user can type something if we prompt them to type something. Okay, we haven't quite prompted them to type something. So new line, we're going to do a read, and we're going to call it capital IP. So what this is going to do is then after that text appears, it's going to then blink, waiting for the user to type something. And we're hoping they'll type the first eight bits of a network IP to scan. Okay. And then once they type it and hit enter, it'll store that value in the variable IP. All right. Once we get that, then we are going to run the nmap command. So we're going to do an nmap. And we're going to use the, let's see, was it the lowercase s, capital T? Okay. And then we're going to give it the variable result. How do we get the result of a variable? Anybody remember? $, right on. So we're going to do $, capital IP. Now, here's the catch. I'm only asking for the first 8 bits. So I'm expecting them to type something like 172.122.8 and stop. So then I need to tack on the next 8 bits, which I want to be a 0. Okay. Now, if I do something like .0, what's going to happen next? Will it just understand that it should concatenate those two things, or will it get confused about what I'm doing? And the answer is it's going to get confused. Yeah. So what we have to do next is we have to do a variable replacement. So to separate the variable from what we want to attach to it, then we have to use parentheses. And I always get confused. Is it parentheses or is it curly brackets or parentheses? And I'm 90% sure it's these curly brackets. Let's see, did I put it in my notes? Shit, I didn't write it in my notes. Okay, if it fails, we'll know. All right, and then I want to do the /24. And then I want to output this. Let's see, I don't want to see the regular output. So I'm going to redirect the standard output to /dev/null, like we played with before. And then I want the grepable output -O capital G to go to the file. Let's call it what are we going to call it? We're going to call it scan results. So I'm going to do camel case, lowercase scan, capital R, results, and it's a text file. So I'm going to do .txt. All right. And then I am bad at typing and I often mistype things. So I'm going to use shift and back arrow to highlight that. I'm in Nano. So in Nano, if I do, let's see, does Nano have a copy?
Yeah, it's Control Shift C.
That works in Nano? Control Shift C. Okay. And then we're going to add another line. So after it does that, then I want to use grep to look for open in there and Control Shift V. Didn't work. On my version, it might work on yours. How about Control U? Buffer is empty. Okay, so on my version, I have to do a highlight, shift back arrow, and then Control K, Control U to put it back. So Control K cuts, then I can down here and I can do a Control U to paste it in. And I'm just doing that because when I was playing around with this earlier, I kept mistyping stuff and it was not working. So the thing is, I just want to make sure the file that I read the nmap results into is the same one I want to grep. So I need to get that name right. I don't want to screw it up. Then what I want to do is I want to have then grep redirect that into another file called open scan results. So open, capital S scan, capital R results. .txt. And then finally, what I want to do is then I want to see that. So now I'm going to cat open scan results. And I'm just going to pray I type it right this time. .txt. So I'll have nmap do its scan, and then it's going to put the scan in a greppable format in scan results.txt. Then grep is going to look at that file, grab only the lines with the phrase open in it, stick it in open scan results, and then we're going to look and see what's in open scan results. Okay, let's save it. Control SX. Then we have to make it executable. So I want to do a chmod on that. And I'm going to do a 775, just make it executable by anybody on the system. And then I got to get the name right. What do I call it? Scan IPs. And I got a bunch of extra stuff in there. I got to delete. Oops. There we go. And then if I do an LL on that, I should see that it is now executable. And I was playing with this earlier, so I'm going to get rid of my other scan results. And then do I have any open scan results? Yeah, I should get rid of those too. All right, and then run it. So // and then the name of your file. Okay, and oh, that didn't work. What did I do wrong?
Yeah, enter the first eight.
See how the -E is in front of it? Oh, okay. So I mistyped something. So you can go and type what you want. So you would type, it might still run, 172. Oh, what was mine? I forgot. 172.17.8. So what I'm going to do, oops. Sorry, what was it again? 172.17.8. Okay. 172.17. Mine might not run, but it might run. Okay, so mine's running, so we're just going to let it sit there. I'm going to pause the recording for now because that could take a minute.